From the side of the department, it was just part of the teething problems, but there has been an assurance that the system is back now, so they are serving their clients and trying to clear the backlogs. We know that on Friday it was a bit of a meltdown with the system not really fully operational. So this morning it started to operate, but then there was a slight outage, but now they have been able to resuscitate it and just get everything back on track. But Susan, maybe just to get a context onto this particular story, we're joined here by Anthea Summers. She's part of the IT agency, Sita. So maybe just to get a sense from her. So a very good afternoon to Anthea. Maybe if you may just give us a sense, what is the current status of the network now?
Good afternoon, Kai, and good afternoon to your listeners. The network was down this morning for an hour, 35 minutes. That was from until 11:40 this morning, but it is completely up and running. All services have been restored, so we anticipate that there are no problems at this point.
And now I would imagine that then you will try to investigate, because I mean it's a first of its kind where you've encountered such a particular incident.
Yes, indeed, it has been quite unprecedented. In fact, if my language would allow me to say, it's been quite bizarre. If we look at the series of events since Friday, what had happened on Friday is that there was a ESCOM power outage in Centurion area, which is where Sita's national key, the Sita offices are, which is a national key point where our networks are housed. Given that situation then, standard operating procedure during those times must be that immediately Sita's generators kick in. What happened then is that the fuel pump, a new fuel pump to the generators, breaks down. Completely bizarre, but we took it as possibly there could have been an error. Our engineers are working on a report that they need to provide, because as Sita we believe, our leadership is very firm on this, the nation deserves a comprehensive answer on this. And then this morning at 10:05, lo and behold, there it goes again. This time then, another sister state-owned entity of ours, Broadband Infraco, whose transmission system is housed within Sita, the battery went flat, no power. And that led to the downtime. So this shows not only our interrelatedness as government, because obviously then, imagine what happens at Home Affairs. People and government departments and citizens are expecting services. So right now, while we were treating this as an isolated incident, I think we're combining the incidents over these two past working days to find out exactly what was the problem. And we need to come back to the nation to tell them, so that they can have the assurance that whatever was the problem is rectified, but it will not happen again. I think that is our position as the Sita leadership at this point.
And do we have any particular time frame in terms of your investigation to get to the bottom of this, so that we don't see a recurrence?
I think that we're giving this, to give you a time, I would be unfair. We have a preliminary report, and therefore I could tell you what our engineers are saying. But I think that because it's been so unprecedented, I think we want to have something more comprehensive done, to find out how can three government state-owned entities have this knock-on effect with government, and citizens are then at the coalface get this kind of service from us. So I think we need to we want to account to the nation, to government departments, to say that this has been what has happened and this is a comprehensive report. Obviously we're going to treat it as urgent, so we'll try to get back as soon as possible. But right at this point, I don't think I have the time frames, and for that I might apologize.
And just before I let you go, Anthea, any assurance you want to give to those unhappy clients at Home Affairs who came and for hours on ends waiting for those services? So, like you're saying that everything now is back to normal, but what can you say to those people so that they can regain the trust?
I think it's both to the citizens and to the government departments. They have, I think, our most humblest apologies. There is nobody in Sita at our leadership level, and even at the level of the most junior official, that is not completely perturbed and disturbed by this. We understand that our citizens deserve the best that they can get from our government, and it is our job to provide that. So when we fail to do that, it is completely uncomfortable, and we sincerely apologize and our deepest regrets for what has transpired. We know it's called comfort, but we'd like to say we really hope and trust that we're going to put all procedures in place that this will never happen in the nation again.
All right, that's Anthea Summers from the IT agency, the state-owned Sita, of course trying to say that everything is back to normal, and it's a first of its kind, Thulasizwe, since the very inception of this particular organization, and of course putting a word out there to the clients who might have been affected, that sincere apologies for any inconvenience that they might have encountered.
Yeah, Khaya, before I let you go, Anthea there is apologizing and saying that, they want to make sure that this never happens again. I'm just wondering, from a political leadership at Home Affairs, but also administrative leadership, what are they saying about perhaps trying to recover from backlogs at Home Affairs offices that, may have resulted from this glitch on the side of the State Information Technology Agency?
Well, like we know, Thulasizwe, that from time to time there'll be quite a number of long queues right in the branches of Home Affairs. We know that they have a program, for example, the campaign to try and reduce those particular queues. So the word that they've just expressed to us was that they will really work hard around the clock in making sure that they tackle the backlog that they might have encountered during this particular phase. But of course, one would just await for these investigations just to see the way forward as to what will happen to avoid a recurrence. But we know that the department has been seized and trying to modernize its systems and going as far as collaborating with a number of banks, for example, so that people are not reliant on their queues or right in their branches, so that people can, for example, go to certain banks in order to access the service. So it is a mammoth task that they face, but the very assurance that we've got from the department was that they will really work hard in making sure that South Africans are able to receive the most efficient services. We know that the Home Affairs is the key custodian of the country's citizenship. Yeah. And also, Thulasizwe, when we spoke to some people in those queues, there was a degree of frustration, but as the system was picking up, you could see that people were so eager to really see themselves getting the most efficient services that they could expect from the department.